Everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. Yeah, it's just
Hey!
Todd and I. We had a full. I think we had a full house last week, and now we're it's just the two of us. But Todd, thank you for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to be here.
Yeah. What watch are you wearing?
So, in honor of the topic,
Yeah.
so I have my trusty Garmin that I bought. Is it showing through here?
Oh yeah, let me do a solo.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not going to show up too well because it's going to be so reflective. But hey, there it is with an analog readout. So I've had this for like 4 years. It's got some marks on it where I've tripped and fallen while running because it's my running, biking, triathlon watch. But so I've got that. But can it live with
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Go this way. A beautiful Seiko 6139. I had it right this first time.
Yeah, was it?
It's just weird. I'm looking at the screen and not what I should be doing. Here we go. I'll get a better camera one day, guys. By the way, Sam has one for sale on eBay. So this is 6139 6015 from 1973 with this lovely blue dial, which is I'm going to try to capture. There you go.
Beautiful.
You get a little bit of it. Seiko's blue dials in this model of 6139 are just fantastic, just gorgeous.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, thanks for the prompt there. I guys, I loaded up the well, I didn't load I put some camera equipment and stuff on the eBay store. So if you've not checked out the eBay store, even if you don't see anything you like there, I've got some stickers on there, channel stickers that are only $2.75, including free postage. So treat yourself. I know a couple of guys, Junior and Eric, have had some stickers off me. So really appreciate the support. But there's the eBay store if you want to check it out. And if you want to help support the channel in general, you can become a channel member as well, which I would really appreciate. So I'll put the channel member link in there. Okay, so enough of me shilling my own stuff here. But yes, also in honor of today, I am also wearing a Garmin. Which
there you go.
Is yours a Phoenix one?
So no, mine is the 935. I've meant to mention model. It's a 935. I forgot what they call it, but it's like 5 years old, so it's not a current one at all. It works so well, and I just like it, so I haven't upgraded it at all.
Yeah,
here's the one you touch the glass. So mine, you have to use.
Oh, you have to use the
pushers on the side. It doesn't do anything there. Which I've had some. Look at this. We're just Garmin buddies. I've had some. My running buddy has one that's close to yours. His complaint with it was that when if he brushed it while he's running or something, it would stop it. So he had to lock the display or whatever, lock that push button thing, lock the screen when he was running.
Yeah, this is the Epix 2, and this face is actually an official Garmin. It's the one last week we were talking about the Porsche designs. Oh no, the car collabs one we were talking about Porsche designs, and there's a Porsche design version of this. But for some reason, I don't know why, Garmin's released the official faces for that watch. I think they were supposed to be exclusive, but they've released them on the Garmin store, so it's the actual Porsche design. Okay, so
that's cool. How much does that cost? How much was that? How much would it retail? $4.99.
Yeah, it's in the IQ store, which actually will probably a good segue. So yeah, the reason that this subject came up was I think it was this week. Apple, I think it was Monday. Apple did their announcement on the no, it wasn't WWDC, was it? It was a new. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Very much appreciated.
Schwab.
Yeah, thank you.
I think you have my investment portfolio. No, that might be the same Schwab.
Yes, this might be his cousin Charles.
This is cousin.
So let's yeah. So Apple did their big announcement, and they announced a new Apple Watch Ultra. Now, I probably mentioned this before on the channel. I'm like a huge Apple fan. I have Apple Max. Right, I'm going to age myself.
Yeah, you are part of the cult. You are part of the Apple.
Yeah,
cult.
I had an SE30 when I was a kid. I had the LC2 for all the Apple geeks. I had at one time I had like all of the Apple Newtons, or the message pads as they were called. So even though they were ahead of their time, I am a huge Apple fan. But I always like my wife has an Apple Watch, but I've always resisted getting one because for a couple of reasons, which I think we'll discuss. But I've always resisted it, and I even actually at one time got offered one through work because a company I was working at had an app, a watch app, and because I'm I'm a solution engineer, so I have to basically I'm like a product specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were like, "Well, you could show the app on the watch," but even that I refused. I managed to get out of it. But this week they released the Ultra, the Ultra 2, I think it was called. Let me just pull it up and up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
pull it down. Let's take a
Ultra
look.
3. Yeah, let me pull it up here so we can see what we're talking about. So they released. Actually, these are all the new watches, but they released this one, the Ultra 3. So if anybody's not familiar with like Apple Watches, the Ultra is, I guess, they're trying to compete with Garmin. They're trying to compete with Garmin's more rugged kind of aesthetic. It's actual grade 5 titanium, which I know we always talk a lot about in terms of other watches. But this seemed to be, and it's the first one that had like a decent battery life. Now, if anybody doesn't keep up with smartwatches, Apple Watches are by far the worst battery life. They're so
terrible.
So inferior to Garmin. Like Garmin's have got solar charging on them. Like some of the Garmin's will last like 14. I mean, how long does yours
even
last?
So this I bought refurbished. Like I said, I think it was right at COVID. So it was about 5 years ago. This 935 for $90 refurbished, and it battery life still is. If I run several times a week, but even then, yes, maybe it lasts maybe as much as 10 days on a charge. And then when you charge it, I can put it on for an hour if it's really depleted and it's almost fully charged. It's really a great design. The battery is still, the life in it hasn't really degraded that I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, Chris was saying he gifted a friend who's a Marine a Garmin. Yeah, actually, it's funny that Pete's not on because he's a Garmin fan, but he works for the Australian Air Force, and he can't wear a Garmin on a lot of the sites that he goes on.
I can't wear this at work. When I go into the office, I can't wear it. Nothing with Bluetooth or any other form of communication. You just can't wear them. That's why I'm interested with the Marine friend. In fact, I highly encourage, if you haven't seen it, right, the Watches of Espionage video on Smartwatches. I think it's really cool. If you're a Russian Navy captain, you could get assassinated. So just be careful what gets out there because they are tracking you.
Yeah, also, I mean, going along with Christopher's comment here, very proudly, like, work for a veteran-run company, or our CEO I think he was actually a Top Gun pilot, and but there's a lot of ex-military veterans that work at our place, and one of them, he's still actually, he was at. I'm not sure which he was. He was in the Navy, but what was funny is his watch. He wore on deployments and stuff the Casio calculator watch. So I always tell him, I'm like, they make special military watches. You're supposed to buy those, aren't you? It's like, no, I like the calculator watch. So anyway, just a cool story. Shout out to Tim if he ever watches
That's cool.
And my friend Chris at work as well, who does wear a smartwatch, but I think I'm not sure which one. I think his might be a Samsung smartwatch, but anyway. So anyway, the long story short, the Ultra 3 came out, and I'm like, is this the one? Like, it's got possibly 72 hours power reserve. It looks durable and cool.
It does look better.
Yeah. So I ordered it because also, actually, I think we should get on to this because there is one thing that I think smartwatches are very, very good at, and I don't know why this is, and maybe we can discuss it, is for some reason the watch straps on smartwatches are like a lot better than you get on most ordinary watches, I think. But maybe we could talk about that in a bit. So Christopher saying he gave his other Marine friend a Rolex Explorer.
Wait, I was going to ask for clarification on this.
So one of your friends got
You
a
didn't
Garmin.
give it to him, did you? Or he has one?
Oh, he has one. My other marine friend guy has a Rolex. Oh, he says I said I gave my other marine friend a Rolex. Wow,
Christopher,
awesome.
you need to be my friend too. You bought him one.
Yeah, so here we go. So Robert says, I often hear the argument against mechanical watches. Sure, your phone can do that. Well, I would use this argument against having a smartwatch. Well, it's funny because this, I'm not trying to sell this Ultra 3. I'm not trying to sell people on this Ultra 3, but this is actually, it has a 5G in it, so you can actually use it as a phone. But anyway, if you've got your AirPods and stuff, you can actually, it doesn't actually require a linkage with a phone, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I ordered it. There's also an amazing like Milanese strap that Apple have made for this. But then as the week went on, I pre-ordered it. It doesn't come out till Friday. But as the week went on, I started really questioning my decision because I have a Garmin. I have a Garmin already. So
bad life choices right here, everyone.
Yeah.
Bad life. No.
And I asked a good friend of mine at work, Ty. He's a watch fan, but also like me, he used to work for Apple, so he's a big Apple fan as well. And he's got the Ultra 3, but also he's got some really nice watches. He's got a beautiful Breitling, and I've given him a couple of watches as well, for ones that I've reviewed. And I asked him, I'm like, do you use it? And he's like, yeah, I do kind of use it. So my fear was why I cancelled it was, well, twofold. It's weird. It's like both ends of the pendulum. What if I don't use it and I've spent like, because that Ultra is like $799. Yeah, actually, I'll get into this. Yeah. So the Ultra 3 is $799 US. I'm in Florida here, but I ordered the one that was $899 because they call it a Milanese, but it's actually a shark. We would call it a shark mesh. Although I suppose it does fold back, so it is kind of like a Milanese. But it's like a shark mesh where you can see through it, and it looks. I'll show you. I've actually seen this strap on here. This strap, and the thing on here. This bracelet on these is absolutely like amazing. I don't know if it'll show it kind of the other way around, but it's got a you can't really see it there.
Can you zoom in on? You can zoom in on the bracelet.
Yeah, let me. In fact, let me just go back to. It looks like I'm trying to sell this Apple Watch now, but let me just show you this
one that you canceled. So yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I actually did cancel it. So let me just see if let me just see if I can band type. Here we go. Titanium. So it's amazingly, it's a titanium Milanese, which I've tried to look for titanium shark mesh straps, and you just cannot find them. So here it is. It's got this incredible for $200 as well. Can you imagine if this was like, if this was Omega's the only one that I know that makes a titanium titanium shark mesh for that for the No Time to Die, isn't it? I bet you they charge like $800 or $900.
I was gonna say that would have to be $800 to $1,000. I bet for that strap.
Oh yeah, easily. And this is beautifully made shark mesh, and then it's got this they call it like a seatbelt. I think they call it like a seatbelt buckle. Okay. So you have to actually push down both of these sections. If you accidentally catch one, it won't unclip. And then also it is quick release as well. So you lift this little tab up, and then you can quick adjust on the fly. This might, even though this is for an Apple Watch, this might be the best shark mesh, as we would call it, or Milanese, that I think has ever been made by any watch company. So I actually ordered it with that as well, and because I think it looks awesome. But it was like $800 with that as well. So a lot of reviews I watched online, they were like, "Oh, it's expensive," or "It's expensive for a watch," but $799 for us is like, yeah. So. But then, so two ends of the spectrum. One was, I was like, oh, would I wear it enough to justify the price? But the other more telling end was like, which probably was the nail in the coffin. Although, to be fair, I am going to go and look at it next week. So I'm like, what if I really like it? What if I really end up using it all the time?
Well, can you go to an Apple store and just have it in the hand and play around with it some? Wouldn't that be available?
Oh yeah, they'll have them. Yeah, so it doesn't release till that release. The 3 doesn't. The difference between the 1, 2, and 3 is like negligible. The 3 has a slightly bigger battery, although I was watching some reviews and they were saying it's a bit sneaky how they do the battery. Is it tests on them?
Yeah, you have to do certain things and certain uses of the watch, whatever, in order to get that maximum battery life out of it. It's kind of like like buying tires with an 80,000 mile warranty. Well, I just ran into this. I had to put new tires in my wife's car. Well, you got to rotate them every 6 months, and then you have to check the alignment every 6 months. Da 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 da. And if you do all that, we'll honor the warranty. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But
so actually, we've got some questions coming through here.
So, built-in obsolescence.
What's Yes, yeah, okay. So Christopher Schwab says, just curious, what was your guys' first watch? I don't know if you were asking that to us or the panel, but that's dead easy for me. Mine was a Timex Iron Man, which I actually bought. I bought the reissue of it last year and there's a review on the channel of it. Todd, yours was the Seiko.
Well, it depends on like when I was 12, or you mean as an adult? So I'm going to ask for clarification from Christopher on that.
And then,
Mark is really laying it in on.
Yeah, Brassic Time says, well, 900 is a lot for something with built-in obsolescence. That's true. Yeah, there's they're very hard to. That is true, because the Apple Watch is certainly not only is there a concern about the battery life, which I did watch something like the team over at iFixit, which they do teardowns about. You can replace the battery, but the more telling thing is Apple will just stop software supporting it, won't they? Like those early Apple, if you buy like an Apple Watch 1, 2, or 3, I don't think you can't. There's just no way of syncing them, I don't think.
See, that's awful if that's the case. I don't think Garmin, I don't know if they'll ever do that. That's one thing I like about them. I don't think they're going to have the same amount of planned obsolescence in their designs, but I could be wrong on that, but we'll see how long this thing keeps working and if I have to eventually upgrade it. But frankly, for $90, that's the other thing. For $90, if I have to replace it with another Garmin or whatever I want to do, it's not a big deal. Now, if spending close to $1,000 for an Apple Watch, I'm not so happy about that prospect.
Yeah,
but that's
But also, I suppose. I did actually think about this as well, but one of the things that Apple does, which so we've talked about the planned obsolescence, which Brassic Time is right, but the other thing which Apple does, which no other watch company that I know of will do this, they will part exchange your next. They do it with phones and computers and stuff. They will buy back your previous model. We've just done it. I bought my wife the new. They released phones. I just bought her the Air, and they're going to give her 400 towards her one that's like 300 years old. 300 years old, 3 years old.
I did the same thing. What are they up to? 13 now? Is it 13?
17.
17. Gosh, I can't be right. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something else, but yeah, because we upgraded my wife's because of something. I forgot what it was. It was having some trouble. And so they gave us a pretty good deal on hers. I think hers was an 11. I think we both had 11s and she got a 16. And it was decent. It was a decent amount of trade-in.
Yeah. So they will kind of part exit. So I think they're I suppose really you're it's actually Patek, isn't it? It's like, oh, you don't really own this, but in Apple, it's like you don't really own this till next year, till we bring a new one out. I suppose Patek's like you don't own this, you're just protecting it for the next generation. But Apple's like, you don't really own this, you keep it till next year when you're going to trade it in. So they will do that, which I think is cool. Like I think that is cool. But so Mark says, we'll see what Mark says. Mark says smartwatches don't belong in a serious collection. Products with planned obsolescence don't belong with watches that, when cared for, have infinite lifespans. No market for vintage Apple. Right. So actually, there is actually a market for vintage Apple stuff, but that's a whole separate topic. I bet you're not the watches, though, to be honest. But I was watching today. I watched a YouTube video today. There is an entire modding scene that mods old generation iPods. And there's a guy that make internal SD card motherboards for them that you can retrofit. You know, if you
yeah,
drive inside in your own iPod. And there's even one I saw today that has a Bluetooth. You can add Bluetooth board into your iPod to so you can use your Bluetooth headphones. They also have there's a company that mods a case that allows you to do wireless charging. So there is so those old iPods, even though the iPod 7, I think it was 2014 that they finished them. I just happened to have a look on eBay. The iPod 7 is still going for $250. So I don't know if the watches are the same, but there is a huge market for vintage Apple. In fact, I think the most expensive computer that was ever sold pre-owned was the original Apple. I know that was the first ever motherboard that Wozniak worked on, but there is quite a big market for vintage Apple stuff, especially some of the quirkier ones. But I know what point I get your point, Mark. But the thing is as well is I think there is watches with planned obsolescence. I think Swatch watches, the basic Swatch watch, they're not made to last a lifetime, and I don't think early digital watches were. I don't think their intention was that they would last forever either. I've got one from the 70s that did last, but I don't know whether the original intention was the LCD watch would last forever.
Good question. Like I've got two right here. I kind of keep some of my digital watches right in front of me. So I've got two, of course, they're Seikos, but these are, it's still going strong. And then this one, so you mentioned calculator watch. I've probably shown this one before. This is a beast. This is a Seiko calculator watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's all stainless steel with one of the most comfortable bracelets I've ever encountered. It's a Seiko bracelet. So it's this really nice stainless bracelet. This thing weighs probably 100 grams, I'm guessing. Yeah. It's a beast. And I got it off an auction and just replaced the battery and cleaned it up and decased it, cleaned it up. Worked great.
Yeah, I love
that. I can't see the numbers with my eyesight anymore, but
yeah, I love those old Seiko watches. But they do have the LCD crystals and stuff do fade, and also they're very hard to replace. I think the LCDs on them, but yes, but great point. So I think it's interesting, isn't it? Where I'm sure there are other watches that had. I think Swatch watches. I've had a Swatch watches that have disintegrated. The plastic just disintegrates. So
yeah, I think you're right. But you're not paying. But again, you're talking about a $50-$40 purchase unless it's a special one, right?
Yeah. So Christopher was saying it doesn't matter what age, just whatever.
Oh, so I put in there. Yeah, to your. If anyone can look at it, and I've probably posted on this before, but if you go under Spencer Klein's YouTube channel, he's a world-renowned Seiko restorer. The first watch I bought with my own real money was a Seiko 7A38. It's the quartz analog stopwatch, or I should say chronograph. And Seiko made the world's first quartz analog chronograph. There we go. And in 1982, mine's in 1984. And it was in my house fire that I had in New Jersey, and it was black, and Spencer restored it. And I have it to this day. It works perfectly. And so this shows you the longevity there with that watch. It's all metal movement. It's a heck of a quartz watch. But that was my first one that I bought from a jeweler when I didn't really have the money to do it, but I did it anyway when I was in college. So I bought that watch new in 1984. I still have it.
That's really cool. Yeah, there's some of the people. So Sam Nova saying that his was a Pulsar. So Pulsar Seiko, isn't it?
Pulsar. Yeah,
they're having a bit
weird. Pulsar. Hamilton was involved, I believe, with Pulsar at one point. I'm not entirely clear where they. Yeah.
Chris J saying if you look at watches in general, 900 is peanuts for a good quality watch. Yeah, I think so, especially with a grade 5 titanium case. As the cases of those are the Ultra is very well made as well. It's a very well machined, because it's an Apple product. It's very well machined. So Eric says, I have a 4G Galaxy watch. The novelty wore off after a few months. This is interesting. This is an interesting topic, because this is one of the things I guess we should talk about with smartwatches is their actual, like, the the least, the less, or the most uninteresting thing they do is actually tell the time. A smartwatch, isn't it? That's the most uninteresting.
Right.
It's the actual health stuff, and
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not really a watch to me. It's a health monitoring device that has the time involved as part of it. I don't consider it a watch, but then again, I'm an old guy. I don't, I refuse. I refuse.
Well, let's talk a bit about how you use your Garmin and like how you train with it and what you use it for.
Yeah, it's strictly for. So I'm actually training right now for the Marine Corps Marathon, which is at the end of October. So I train. And I live on a lake now, so it has a nice little menu. It's very simple. So it has run, bike, swim. It has row. It has boat. So I can put it on when I'm doing the boat out. I can monitor how fast I'm going just for fun, or it'll track me around the lake. It's fun to put on when I do my jet skis. It's fun to put it on and see how fast you'll go according to GPS, because the jet ski speedometers are a little off. But and then you download it. And now with the AI, Garmin has the AI piece into it. So you download it and it'll do an evaluation based upon different criteria. With me, especially in running, there's different zones. There's 1 through 5 zones. And so they're different. You have I just lost the different zones. Like zone 5 is where you have your highest heart rate. And so that would be like a tempo zone. And then you have different ones after that. So you can see where you fit in the zones. You can see exactly how much elevation you did on a run, like your total elevation going up and down hills, for example. You can see all these criteria, and then that automatically goes to Strava, which I have. And then Strava has its own AI piece. And so it'll do its own analysis on what you're doing. And, it's just a good way to monitor your progress and get feedback and, see how you're doing, week to week, month to month, even year to year. You can see your Vox like this. This will do my velocity of oxygen uptake. So it does all of these do kind of a quasi measure of that, but you can see the trends and it's just a really useful tool, especially since it's not a lot of money.
Yeah. That's what I use mine for. I don't do that extreme exercise, but like for jogging and stuff like that, I'll use this.
Walking, whatever you're doing is great for that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I use it a lot for sleep. I use it for sleep tracking as well. Although sometimes you wake up and you're like, you felt like you had a good night's sleep, and your watch is like, oh, you slept terrible last night. So do you know what, actually? So it's a couple of people. So Eric said, I don't like being connected all the time, and Robert says, we just call them wrist phones. Funnily, I don't know if you've done this, but I actually switched off all of the phone features on this, so I don't have the notifications come up on this. I switch off the notifications. Okay. So if I get a text, it doesn't show on here. Whereas that was my concern with the Apple Watch. Like the Apple Watch really is to
you are cyborg with that more than it's. So this will only I can answer the phone with this, and it'll do like a little bit of text, but other than that, that's its connectivity to my phone, which I'm fine with. If it rings, I can see, oh, it's my wife, and I'll answer it, and then pick the phone out of my, like if I'm running, I'll pick the phone out of my sleeve carrier thing. And then a lot of times it's just spam. So I'll say decline, and kill it that way.
Yeah. So but that was my fear with the Ultra, that it is so connected to the phone that it really is, like to Robert's point, it really is so Mark says, anyone who owns 50 or 70 iPods must be mad, says the man who owns 70 watches. Do you know what's funny? It's pity Dave's not here, because I think Dave's got every single iPod that was ever, like one of every single iPod. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he's actually a big collector. And as well, Dave from Scottish Watches, he's also got 1 or 2 of the Sony dogs, the Aibo dogs, the robot dogs.
Oh, the robot dogs. Yeah.
Dave's a big tech fan like me.
He is.
Yeah, so Robert Coleman says, does the Seiko TV watch still work, Todd? I'm guessing not.
No.
There is a guy on YouTube. If you search on YouTube, there's a guy that because you have to use the UHF frequency.
Yeah, because it's the old VHF, UHF frequencies, which aren't used anymore in TV transmission. But you're right. There's a guy out there that you modify it to work with digital transmissions. Like it'll work with the digital, free digital channels that are out there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and what was cool, I saw one of the in the Seiko Museum in Ginza in Tokyo. They've got one there, so I got to see it. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the watch itself was only the screen. It actually had a cable, didn't it, that went all the way up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you had a pack, and that the pack was the actual the receiver, and they had the batteries in it and stuff. The watch was actually only the screen, which Roger Moore doesn't make totally obvious in Octopussy.
But you would have been the man. I could imagine sitting like in Europe for football or in the US for football. Could you imagine back in the
everyone's
having that there and watching the replays? You would have been the king of
yeah. It would. I mean, that was sports. I think that was the thing. I was watching something about what was I watching? Something about it was technology from the 80s, but I think the 80s and 90s were so cool, especially for watches, like digital watches and stuff. Like the technology that was coming out, it was exciting. It was really exciting. Whereas now we're talking about a release of an Ultra 3 that hasn't changed since the Ultra 1 watch. Whereas, you know, it was up only very, sort of late 90s, early 2000s, which is when you bought like a new computer. It was like vastly better than the one before, wasn't it? It'd be like twice as good as the one you had, or 3 times. Whereas now you buy a computer and it's like, oh, it's a little bit thinner. Yeah, it's a little bit, it looks.
Now it's video cards. Now it's about getting the higher processors on the video cards, as you well know. So that's really the game you play now is in the GPUs, not the CPUs. But
yeah. Especially if you're gaming and stuff.
If you're gamer, right? If you're a gamer, yeah.
Yeah, so so Jeremy says, while I don't ever plan on owning one, a smartwatch isn't really a watch. Yeah, the focus is on being connected, taking calls, and I think, totally agree with that. But for me, I use it mainly a lot for the health features, because also it does like a good health. You can click it and it'll do like a health report status on you, which does your VOX, your PulseOx,
right?
Your PulseOx. It does your heart rate. It does your and the new Apple Watches as well, they've actually built a feature into them that'll do hypertension, which is high blood pressure. But I think that's a bit of a con because you have to wear it for like 30 days, whereas you could just I've got a digital blood pressure cuff, and that just syncs within seconds, and it it adds to you. So I think that's a bit of a swizz, the Pulsar. So let's have a look. So let's see other.
They are big. These are big watches.
So I got a gifted from my automatic Movado blue dial. Still have it to this day. Very cool.
Yeah. What year is that? Yeah.
I
have vintage Movado that's really Zenith, which is super cool.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Michael says Hamilton sold the Pulsar name to Seiko. Okay,
yeah, that's it. That's why it gets a little confusing on who owned what and when. And that's, whoops, keep bumping this. I got my handy dandy caliper. Let's see how big this 935. I guess I could just look it up, but heck, when you've got a cool tool like this, why not?
Oh yeah,
why not use it? So I don't know how big yours is, but
47. Mine. This
47.
One is.
That is, yours is bigger than mine. If I go to this, I think it is. Let's see here. I should put. It is 47.
Yeah.
It's the same.
I think a lot of them are 47, yeah.
Lug to lug on these. It is 53 and a half. Ooh, it's a big boy. Yeah. They are big.
My first watch was a Dundee-made Timex over 50 years ago. It's funny, Brassic Time. I inherited a Timex from my American grandfather. And it was a British-made Timex, which I always thought was pretty. I've still got it, so it's pretty cool that even though he was an American and bought it in America, and a Timex is an American company, it was actually made in Great Britain, which I thought was really cool. Let's have a look. So,
sure, the year, Christopher. Yeah, the Movado automatic would probably be pretty old. Yeah.
So, Tenka-san says, "Is there a smartwatch or similar that you could thread into a 2022 meter NATO and wear it on the back of your actual watch?" So Zinn made an Apple Watch strap, didn't they? That had the Zinn watch on the front and the Apple Watch on the back.
The Apple Watch would sit on your wrist, on the inside of your wrist, and
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, I've reviewed I've reviewed one like a Pininfarina smartwatch that was a normal two-hand watch, but it had smart features. Withing, who make the smart scales, they have three-hand three-hand quartz watches, but also have smart features. And there was even, I don't know if it ever took on, but there was even one where it was like a little button that you could kind of put on the back. But I think really, if you really wanted smart features but didn't want to wear a smartwatch, those are they called Whoop bands or something?
Okay.
There is ones that are just like elastic bands that go on that have no screen on them at all.
Oh.
It's a sensor that sits on the top of your wrist, and it pretty much records most stuff. So yeah, there is. So you could actually Trey at work, who's a big friend of mine at work, who's a big Citizen fan. He has those. I think it's called Womp Band. Somebody will correct me in the comments. But he wears his Citizen watch and then this band, and that's exactly why he does it, because he likes his watches so much he doesn't want to. He has this other band.
And we're going to rings now too. We have the new rings that supposedly work. I haven't.
Yeah, the Aura ring.
So.
Yeah, I think Jason. Watch rolling Jason, I think he's got a Aura ring.
Yeah, Aura ring. Yeah, just as long as it doesn't work like something from J.R.R. Tolkien. My precious. If I start doing this, if I put those rings on, I'm a little scared.
So we've got to answer this one, isn't it?
Oh,
Bruce, like, why is the Moser smartwatch so expensive? Well, we've got to mention this because Mark, who couldn't join us today, is actually in Switzerland, was telling us, I didn't realize this, but the Moser, that actual smart part of that is sort of loosely tied in with Christopher Ward. And of course, every live stream we have to mention Christopher Ward at least once.
We do.
So this is why we're mentioning it. So apparently, what was Mark saying? He was saying that Adrian Buchman, who is the director of design at Christopher Ward, actually made the smartwatch components of that Moser watch when I guess he was at a previous company. And but I think it's so expensive because it's in a Strato, is it called Stratoliner? It's in a Moser have made the case, and they're going to be extremely limited production, aren't they?
Probably, but anything with a Moser name on it is going to be very, very expensive. That's just like.
Look at this, actually. Yeah, there is one. I think this is the set. So the set of them on exquisite timepieces is going. It's 70,000.
Oh, that's easy then. Yeah, I'm gonna just put that on my credit card right now. Yeah. Look at that! You can buy now. Go ahead and click it, Sam. Click it.
Yeah, buy now. They also, I think they've made this specifically for F1, haven't they? Called Mark's going to watch this back, and he's going to be angrily typing to me that I forgot all of the cool features about this watch, because he actually was talking about it the other day. But it's not the first ever. I mean, that for a smartwatch is very expensive, isn't it? But that's not the first.
That's a flex piece. But to somebody who understands what Moser is, that's a flex piece. I mean, it's the same thing like the gold G-Shock.
It does look beautiful.
That you could get for $4,000 or whatever it was. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but
yeah, it's for. I think it's for F1 driving, isn't it? And it doesn't. I don't think it's continuously connected to your watch. You have to actually press sync, and actually, also, it doesn't. You can't set the time. This actually, you do need a phone for it. This doesn't work independently from a phone for setting the time and stuff, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even I think the first ever expensive one I remember was the Tag Connected, and even Louis Vuitton have a smartwatch. I think, is there a smart Panerai or something? But yeah, there's definitely
I think there may be. I remember the Tag Connected when it came out. It's also a dinner plate. It's huge, but again, if I think this is the right size for I'll call it a health monitoring device, because I can see this when I'm running with my 60-year-old eyes without a problem. Go through it.
Yeah.
And I can scroll my heart rate down. Like sometimes I don't run for time as much as I do heart rate, depending on what it is I'm doing. So if I'm doing like a tempo or a fartlet, I'll kind of monitor, especially at my age, I monitor the heart rate. So I want to go to a certain heart rate zone. And so I'll just, on this, it's like going down 2 clicks and I can see my heart rate and it's nice and big and I can read it easily. So that part is, so I think the size, like a Breitling Navitimer, right? There's a reason why they're big. There's a reason why pilot's watches are big. So you can see them in low light situations. The same with these smartwatches, these healthcare type things. I think it's designed that way accordingly. Wouldn't want it all the time. Now, somebody wrote that they got their King Seiko. Another reason, big dive watches are there for another visibility reason.
Yes.
And a King Seiko, which I have a couple, will sit on my wrist just fine because the lug to lug is less than 50. The King Seikos, I think that because they're lugless, I believe that they fit like 48 lug to lug. They're almost square, if I remember right. Yeah, almost like a perfect square if you look at lug. And so that fits really well. But these garments do hang off your wrist, at least my wrist, just a smidge maybe, but it's not too bad.
Yeah. The Tag Connect. I remember when the Tag Connected first came out, and there was you could I think because they were trying it, they could kind of, when they first brought it out, I think you could get a normal watch module put into the case after a year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I imagine the Smart Panerai. There isn't a Smart Panerai. Let's have a look with Tag.
Oh, sounds familiar to me. I can look too. Smart Panerai. Something it clicks something in my brain. Maybe they didn't do it.
Yeah, so let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to try and find.
There it is. I think
there is a Smart Panerai. No.
Yeah. A hybrid or something they call it.
Oh yeah, let's send it over.
It's in the Panerai case. I don't know which one is it in which Panerai case is it in?
Yeah, it's funny because if anybody's a fan, I'm a big Jason Statham fan, and in the original Transporter, he actually has a Panerai that has a alarm on it, even though they never made a digital. They never made like a digital version of a Panerai that had an alarm, but in the movie he has a but it's not a Panerai. It's this it's that one I reviewed, the Pininfarina.
Pininfarina hybrid watch.
A little bit.
Oh,
I've actually got a review of that on my channel if anybody's interested in seeing that. I was actually quite impressed with that.
It might be pretty good. I'm looking here. There's on WatchMax, I can get a Tag Heuer connected caliber E4 for $790.
Okay.
So is that cooler than an Apple Watch? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. The other thing with the kind of, I was watching some reviews of the Apple Watch was what you said. The Apple Watch only has like the crown and a button, whereas the Garmin, even on mine that is touchscreen.
There you go. You're scrolling.
You actually don't have to use the touchscreen. You can switch the touchscreen off. You can
switch it off. Yeah, that's what my friend had to do. Switch it off.
Yeah, whereas the Apple Watch, you have to use it. And I was watching an interesting. There's a great. If anybody's interested in the Ultra, the Verge did a great comparison, and they actually got a diver to do the Apple Watch in the dive mode, and she largely liked it, except for the actual touch screen because she had dive gloves on it. Actually, she really had to.
I guess that wouldn't work so well in that regard.
The Apple Watch, it will go. It's 100 meters water resistance, but it's got a 40-meter depth gauge on it. So, and it'll do like alarms and stuff like that on there as well.
That's a good point. When it's cold, my buddies and I will run, of course, with gloves, our running gloves, but our running gloves have, then the new ones you buy have the whatever the substance or the material that allows you to touch your phone or to still work on phones and stuff like that. So it doesn't work for diving, but.
Oh, okay. So let me just pull this up. So maybe it wasn't that they swapped the module out, but this is from 2015. In 2 years, Tag Heuer will let you trade in the Connected for a mechanical Carrera watch. So Tag Heuer's first smartwatch, the Connected, is official and available for purchase. So this article is from 2015. Both online is selected for days to come. But as those conversations happen, you should know about the somewhat intriguing trading program that Tag Heuer is doing with this watch. you see Tag Heuer understands that a couple of years, 2 years to be exact, this smartwatch will be outdated. There is no getting around that. The fact that technology changes so quickly, Tag is aware of this. So with that in mind, Tag Heuer is giving connected owners a chance to swap their watch at the end of its 2-year warranty period for a mechanical watch, the Carrera to be exact, assuming they're interested and care to pay an additional 1,500. So that's what they were doing. They were selling the connected watches and saying, hey, for $1,500, which probably isn't that bad really for a you can then swap it out for Carrera watch. So I for some reason I thought they put the module in the same case, but it
okay.
Open it for another watch. Yeah, so here you go. So let's have a look. We've got some questions coming through. So Joker says that there's also a brand called Sequent, and they make hybrid watches that actually look really nice and have useful functions. Let's have a look at that.
I'm looking now. Look at this, real time, nearly real time work here. I love it.
Oh, here we go. Swiss. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Swiss. Let's have a look.
Those actually look pretty good.
Let's pull these. Let's pull one of these up. Here we go. Sequent. Yeah, so they look pretty. Yeah, they actually. Oh, yeah, they look pretty good as well. So they're actually in the same sort of vein as the Apple Watch in sort of
same price range. But I like the way they designed them. I like that inner dial or whatever.
Oh yeah, they've got the heart rate sensor on the back there. Yeah. Solar charger as well, so it will charge. Cool. But the Garmin's, I don't think they fully charge through solar. But this is inspired by nature.
Yeah. Look at the orange one.
Ever made for a hybrid watch. This is the largest solar panel ever made for a hybrid watch. Just to get some sunlight will reach infinite autonomy. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? 20 months in standby time.
Sapphire. Oh, they use a winding weight too to help charge it. This is cool.
Oh, so it's like the old
click one of them and it'll show you the mechanism.
On one of these,
like click one. Yeah, okay, you did. I clicked it again, I think, or something, and I forgot where it went. No, maybe I went to innovations or something like that up top.
Oh, here you go.
You can see the winding weight there. Look at that. Oh, that's cool.
This is pretty cool.
Now this, I'm actually liking because this is technology used in a really cool way.
Yeah, requires your phone for GPS, which is fine.
Oh, see, that part is what I don't like, because I like the pure GPS on the Garmin.
Yeah.
Because I don't always run with my phone. It just depends.
It's a decent size, so it's only 40 millimeters. So it's actually quite slender, quite narrow for a smartwatch. Yeah, that is interesting, actually. I wonder if I can. I've reviewed a couple of the smart G-Shocks that have smart features in them, which I did like. I like the Square, and I had the Rangeman as well. They've got a lot of cool features, but they definitely are a G-Shock, a smart G-Shock. They're not, because Casio had that. They tried to do a smartwatch, didn't they? And it totally tanked, I think.
Okay.
But the Garmin, do you remember they did one that was like, I think it used the Garmin Watch OS.
Yeah, maybe it did.
And it never really took off because they tried to make like a rugged one, and I don't think it really took off. But the smart G-Shocks are pretty cool.
Those are cool. And that's cool for G-Shock to do that. That makes a lot of sense.
Let's have a look. So Robert Coleman says, I don't like traditional watch brands doing smartwatches. It comes across as desperate. It's very unbecoming of a heritage brand. I mean, Tag's obviously been doing it for like 10 years now. And I think, so there's a smart, obviously we looked at the smart Moser, but those, I'm going to get the name wrong. The resonance watches.
Resonance, yeah, the resonance.
Yeah, they're fully mechanical, but they also have Bluetooth in them, don't they, or something? They actually, you can set them from it. I suppose they're like a hybrid smartwatch. They don't have any sensors on, but you can actually set them. But there's some like magic that they do with them where you can still set them from Bluetooth, even though it's a fully mechanical watch. And I think Louis Vuitton have done a smartwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Into the Void says, yeah, my Garmin has a 30-day battery life, so charging
Yeah.
it is rarely an issue.
Mine
Yeah,
might be the same. Yours might be the same too, Sam. You just don't use GPS or something like that.
yeah. No, well, I love the always on display, so I have the always on display on all the time, and I think that's the power suck of it. But even so, I got a good 7 or 8 days out of it. That's actually what worried me about the the Apple Watch, because I like wearing this for sleep tracking, but if I ended up wearing it all the time, like, where would I?
Yeah, mine's my beater watch. So whoops, it's over here, but it kind of turned my beater watch, turned from an old Seiko to the Garmin. The Garmin's just one I strap on when I'm right after this, I got to put a carburetor on my power washer. I'll wear the Garmin.
So
yeah.
so if we're talking, 10 or so years ago, pre-smartwatch, you were still doing like triathlons and stuff then. So what would you do? Would you take a digital watch and then keep like a paper log?
Yeah,
Or
I
how
did the Ironman. So I was like you. That's why I used to do my tries in and runs, which was an Ironman. And I'm trying to remember. I think I would just write it down in a spreadsheet. If I remember
and then
right.
you would use Excel or something to like trend the graph to show,
But all
time.
you had, and those didn't even do heart rate right, because you had to wear the heart rate monitors.
Yeah, the
across your
polar
chest.
watches.
The polar, like the polar ones, and I seldom did that. I'll do that now, like when I'm on the Peloton. I'll wear the heart rate monitor here just because it shows up on the Peloton screen. It syncs the Bluetooth, and so I can do my heart rate zones, make sure I'm like where I want to be with what I'm doing on the Peloton. But I don't like to run outside with those. So the Garmin's great. It does a pretty good job on the pulse just from my wrist.
Yeah, and the other good thing with the Garmin watches as well, which Apple's not got totally right yet, is the additional sensors, isn't it? Like the cadence sensor for the bikes.
Yeah.
And there's a one for your shoe, isn't there? You tie it into your laces, and it's a more accurate.
Yes, more accurate. I think to get the power meter so if you're cycling, the optimal thing is to have a power meter on the cycle. And I don't have that. I'm not that high tech, but you can put those right where your feet are, which is what you're really measuring, and you get a better measure of your output power, I believe, that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it is interesting, but yeah, I think I mean, I'll go and look at that Ultra, but my biggest fear was that that I might like it too much. We didn't talk about one of the things that I find really weird about smartwatches is the watch straps. For some reason, are like loads are very, very good in comparison to like watches. It's straps for normal watches. So for some reason, I don't know if, especially on these Garmin ones, they have perforations all the way down, so you can infinitely adjust it. Whereas most other watches, they actual stop, don't they? They only have like but it aids ventilation. Also, this is the actual that was an aftermarket one, but the actual Garmin one, the rubber that they use, I've never seen this. I've never seen another normal watch strap that is this same.
This is a 5-year-old sweated on, Garmin band here, and it's fine. The only thing I've lost are the keepers. And I bought like a pack of 6 of the keepers for $10 on eBay or whatever. And
and the other like really cool thing with the Garmin's is, and I don't know why we never saw this. I know Zinn sort of did something, but it wasn't really the same. I don't know why this isn't more common. The actual just where you latch the strap off, and there's a
yours is so high
tech. And all you do is you want to change the strap. You just basically just clip it on. Mm-hmm. It's a 22 millimeter lug width, so you can actually put this on a normal. You can put this on a normal 22 millimeter.
Put this on a NATO. It's just mine's old, so I've got the Torx screws here, so I just have to unscrew it with the Torx bit.
You have to unscrew it, yeah.
But I could put I could probably put a spring bar system in there, or put the rod back in with the Torx bits and throw on a NATO. I could do that.
You can just take these and you just literally clip them on. I don't know why normal watches don't have this. For some reason, especially with that Apple, like that Milanese one, which is the best shark's mesh I've ever seen on any watch. They also have like an alpine loop. They have like the Velcro straps as well. I don't know why normal watch companies or like G-Shock or, you know, other ones that make the rugged watches haven't come up with just a strap system like this. You know, when I'm reviewing watches, I always talk about how I like the quick release, but even a quick release on a normal watch is very fiddly. It's not just a one finger operation like that is. Now, maybe this would fail. Maybe this would perhaps fail over time. That's why they don't do it. But
maybe for a heavier watch, it's not good. But like to your point, I have the newer last year Tag whole year Altavia chronograph. It's a pretty big beefy thing, and it has a proprietary quick release strap mechanism. The problem is you have to buy them from Tag. Nobody else makes them. So what I did is I had going back to Miko said Man Cave Leather. We'll give a shout out to him again. I had him make a single pass NATO custom for it, and I wear it all the time on that brown leather single pass.
That's really cool.
So,
I mean, even the metal. This is a titanium bracelet for it. Even the metal ones just clip on. There's no other watch that you can clip a bracelet off and on that quick. And I don't know why, for some reason, the smartwatch companies seem to be doing the most innovation in straps and bracelets for some reason. I just think it's really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
That it's one of the things that's always intrigued me about the smartwatch. You know, all the perforations still go down there, and you never see a strap like that. So let's think.
I'm reading what some of the folks.
Yeah, let's have a look. So let's have a look. I think G-Shock smartwatch could be the exception, maybe. So Mark's saying, it's the wrong question. You have a collection of watches and a smartwatch. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not part of a watch.
Yeah, I think Sam was a little clickbaity with that whole thing. That was my opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to feed the algorithm.
Feed the algorithms. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Somebody actually mentioned that one of my other videos. Like, I said it was clickbait, and I said it was a clickbait title because if I just put review of this watch, nobody would have clicked on it, and that's beneath you. And I went, well, it certainly used to be, but now while we're fighting for every view at the moment, it's dire out there on the old watch channels. Going to get views, even some of the big ones like Russell, Mad Watch Collector. I mean, he has a hit from time to time, but the amount of work and stuff he puts in to he should be one of the top ones.
It's amazing. Yeah.
For some reason, the algorithm is favoring the flipping endless top 10 lists. And
like Urban Gentry, I think, who has some of the finest production of a let's say like Teddy Baltazar does exceptional work, but he's of course a kind of his own big company now. Yeah. And for watch manufacturers, but Urban Gentry, Trisano does a really great job from a perspective of like video editing. He's very much an artist in what he does. Mark, who's also part of this group too, sometimes from a Long Night of Watch, is very good at what he does in terms of his purpose in showing that. But otherwise, it's tough to, I think, what you do.
Yeah, it used to be that we're going off on a tangent here, but back in the day when you were doing watch content, you would, if you improved like the look and the style and the professionalism of the channel, you would benefit by views. You know, if you improve like the cameras and improve like your camera work and stuff like that. But now I don't think it's anything to do with that. It's
different algorithms. What you're saying, I like Mark. I think Mark, look at that last comment right there. I think he's spot on.
Will Rolex make a smartwatch? I mean, who knows? I mean, they made a quartz watch, didn't they? They made an oyster quartz.
Oyster quartz, which are actually highly collectible now. There's a whole group that collect oyster quartz. Yeah.
Well, isn't it? If anybody has not seen the oyster quartz, pull up a picture of the oyster quartz and the new Land Dweller, and you'll wonder like how far backwards the design went with the Land Dweller. The oyster quartz was like an amazing looking watch in comparison, and the Land Dweller, it takes inspiration from it, but the oyster quartz is a much better looking watch. The Rolex Internet Dweller, or Basement Dweller.
And we can't forget Scottish watches. They're their own. They're their own thing now. They have personality wise, those guys.
Ricky and Dave. Yeah, Ricky and Dave were on last week. If anybody didn't catch it, absolutely awesome.
Yep, they're on last week.
Dave. So behind the scenes as well, they're such nice. They always, Ricky's always there for quick chat about YouTubes and stuff or the world. Awesome. Well, Todd, that was amazing. I really appreciate you joining. We're at the hour. We made it.
We made it. We didn't know how far this would go. I said, Sam and I were throwing some stuff back and forth with some of the other guys, and we said, well, let's do some audience participation because that will make it go well. And it sure did.
Yeah. It's also, it's just a shame Pete wasn't here as well, so he could just he has a lot of smartwatches, but he's not. I don't think he's a fan of them. He's but anyway, awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being so active in the comments. Thank you to all of the new members and the existing members as well. Very much appreciated. Check out the eBay store, and we'll see you next time on Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.